And I'm lucky I did that, but I think I just questioned myself a lot of like, where is this going to, I was just doing these things and I'm like, is this even going to help? I don't know. And I want to tell that person, keep doing, actually be crazier, honestly. Do weirder stuff because it's all going to be part of what makes you successful in the end.
Welcome to this episode of Bits by Bacon. I am your host, Misty. And with me today, a special guest from Vermont, McIntyre Crow is a realtor. She is not only certified in luxury home, she is also a broker. Her and her husband have a team, and she has an amazing background. So, Mandolyn, thank you so much for joining me today.
What an
So,
introduction. Thank you very much.
you have a master's in global marketing and international, is
Yeah,
it
global
international
marketing. Yeah.
experience? Okay.
Advertising, global marketing and advertising. Yeah. So I got that at Emerson and I loved it. I got to live in Boston. I wanted to go to Emerson because at first I was like, I want to act and I want to be an actress and it's such a great school for that. And then I was like, you know what? I want to have something that's solid. So I stayed
Sure.
there and did that instead. And then did some student films and was like, thank God that I didn't pursue that. And I went and master's degree instead in this
That's funny. That's awesome. What was your undergrad in?
journalism and
Journal. Okay.
communication. Yeah.
I was a radio and television major.
Oh, good. I worked in radio and television.
You
Well,
did?
mostly television. Yeah. Right before
Oh,
this. For real
awesome.
estate.
I was on the radio in college on a country station for a little bit. And then in my 20s, I moved to New York and I did stand up comedy for a bit.
I worked at a comic. We have so much in common.
I love that. But I love it so much.
Yeah, I worked at a comedy club for 6 years in LA.
That's so cool. I was in LA in 2000 or yeah, 2000 to like 2002.
I was after that.
Oh,
We were passing
okay.
ships. Yeah.
So cool though. That's great. That's awesome. Did you get into real estate first or your husband?
Me.
You did.
Yes. I got into real estate during COVID,
Okay.
and it was because basically I was working in television and
Okay.
everything shut down, even television. I was in advertising and I just saw the signs of I had been thinking about going into real estate for a really long time. And then I was doing really well in advertising. And I saw that there's kind of a ceiling. And even
Mm,
though it's a very similar setup to real estate, in that it's commission based and
mm,
you have to hunt what you eat, but there was only so far you could really go because it was a
sure.
corporate world. And then there's only so many accounts you could have and things. And so I was
Sure.
like, feel like real estate, you can keep going. There's no real ceiling on what you can do, and you can just
Sure.
keep expanding your business. Yeah, I made the switch during COVID, and it was crazy to be thrown into that as a new agent. And I had moved to a brand new county town. I had no idea even like the different towns in my county, and I had no sphere whatsoever.
Mhm.
I just did it.
How did you build up your sphere? Did you join the chamber? What things did you do to build your sphere?
I'm like, I did a lot. So basically, I treated real estate as a 9 to 5 job, and I forced myself to work. But if there was nothing to do, I had to find something to do.
Sure.
A lot of that was I joined boards. I went to every single chamber event and things like that to build my sphere. And
Right.
then because I was in advertising before it, I knew a lot of businesses. So I just walked into businesses and was like, I'm in real estate now. I'm going to give you a bunch of cards. I'd walk around and talk to every single person in that
Nice.
car dealership or whatever it was, letting them know I'm not a secret agent. I'm going to tell you I'm an agent.
Right.
Tell your
Right.
friends. And so I did a lot of that. I did a lot of because you're not making any income in the very beginning. So I really
Right.
wanted to focus on, I knew in my head, I told myself in my head that I would not make any money my first year. I wanted to put that in my head as don't focus on making a bunch of money, focus on growing a sphere. That's it. If you get that goal done, you've done it. And
Sure.
so I was even reaching out to agents in my brokerage and being like, hi, I'm new. If you're going on vacation, I will cover for you in an open house. is there a buyer that is driving you absolute bananas and is going to take forever to close on something? I will take a referral. So I
Sure.
use that as well to grow my business. And I really just didn't say no to anything. And I ended up my first year closing 38 transactions, my first full
Wow.
year, and 14 million. So
That's
I,
amazing.
yeah, just
Congratulations.
by really being, I'm gonna work and just
Sure.
try to grow this, and then it all kind of
Sure.
happened at the same time.
And do you have systems in place for everybody has a CRM, but did you design one? Do you just use one that all the realtors use? Your company provides one? And do you go deeper than that? I use Affiny's referral and do a lot of phone calls and postcards, handwritten cards, and then meeting people, businesses, owners, as well as past clients and people one-on-ones as well. But I feel I'm kicking up my phone call game this
Yeah.
year. And it has really made a difference because 90% of my business has been referral. And
Yep.
so I'm trying to reach people that don't know me. And so hence why starting a podcast
Yeah.
and just make connections all over. But what do you and your team do?
I use my CRM. I do a lot of drip campaigns. I'm constantly following up. I do a lot of newsletters just to get touches. Because of my background in advertising, I know I've always known the importance of like you just have to hit people a bunch of times. If they have to see your message at least 3 times to even remember who you are and what that message is, and just
Sure.
keep hammering. I'm professionally persistent in what
That's
I do.
amazing. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
just not to
That
be annoying, but and
sure.
then I do a lot of hands-on stuff too. I do in my market, mailers really work because nobody else is doing them.
Right.
And we have an older demographic in the area. So a lot of people are not on the internet. My mailers, I send them out all the time. I farm the same area, work super well. I make sure that I'm constantly talking to past clients.
Sure.
This year alone, I think I've already closed 5 or 6 past clients again. And I have writing an offer this afternoon on another past client. So I really try to keep that up and get referrals because that's for me, my goal is to be fully referral based
Yes.
and have enough business from that because that's just, that these people already like and love you and they're sending
Right.
their family and friends.
For
Um,
sure.
but I do a lot of marketing besides that. And I really lean into social media. I started that when I was first getting into the business and I was like, what can I do that is free? During
Right.
that
Right.
9 to 5 period, I'm like, what can I do that is free? And
Right.
so I really started using social media, which has helped a lot. I post a lot of videos, get a lot of traction between Facebook and Instagram.
That's awesome. And your husband, so did you drag him in or did he say, okay, I want that? And
Dragged him in. I just knew that I was getting a lot busier and I needed somebody else to help out with stuff. And he has a background in building. He actually built our house physically with his own hands.
okay.
And he was in solar, he was like solar building and everything like that before. So he has such great experience with the structure of a home that I send
Mhm.
him on. He's at every appraisal. He's at every
Right.
he's at an appraisal, right? He's at every inspection. He's at one right.
Inspection.
He's literally at it.
No.
So I send him to that. He's amazing at listing appointments because he can. I'm looking at a lot of aesthetics and how interior price points on, does this have granite countertops? Like, what is high end appliances? And he's like, you need some joists and you need to do this beforehand. And really, so like we work together so well. And I thought in the beginning he would be covering for me, is kind of how I thought it was going to work out. And instead, like we both work
You guys are
together,
no.
we both work together as agents, and he's not
Yeah.
at all covering for me. He on certain days is just taking over most of it. So we're definitely like 50 at this.
That's awesome. I love
Yeah.
that. And a team. I saw your picture on Facebook. Thanks for inviting me
Yeah.
to connect. And so you have a team, and your team, do they do something different? You do luxury, someone does rental, someone does something else, or do y'all
No,
all kind of
we have like a rental market here. It's crazy. Everybody
uh,
does everything. I have a transaction coordinator too. And then I have a really big network of real agents utilizing them too to cover stuff, even if they're not part of the team. It's a lot. It's a lot we just kind of all work together. I don't focus on just luxury. I really love luxury and I'm glad I got into it and it's amazing, but I try to treat everybody, no matter what price point, as a luxury listing. So I
Sure.
really like telling everybody, I know, don't be frightened. I know that your house is not in the luxury bracket, but I've been marketing my whole life and I
Sure.
you get that service on any house. So we
For sure.
still do our like cinematic videos where we're in it for all price points, but it's really helped to kind of do all of it because my whole business model has been just growing sphere and you never know that you might have a house that's $300,000 that you're selling, and then they have a friend that has a $2 million house, and they're going to
Sure.
tell that person that they know to use you. It's definitely a mix that we all do.
In your association, so Houston, just Houston Association of Realtors, big, big area, in a big state. We have 42,000 realtors, I think.
Woo!
Now, I believe the statistic is only 10%.
We don't even have that in our state.
That's what I was going to say. So how many agents is in your association? Do you have like 500 or you
Yeah,
have
basically
2,000?
around that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We only have a couple associations too for the whole state.
Okay.
And so it covers multiple counties. And we've thought about consolidating some of them too, because some of our associations are like a county over here, but not this county, but then they have that
Sure.
county as well. But our associations are super small, which is nice because we get to do a lot of events, actually know everyone that's coming to the event.
Yes, for
And
sure.
so that's really been great because you can network a lot with those agents and you become friends. I've worked with the same agents majority. I'll be like, oh, I've done 5 transactions with that agent, and we're in the same board and we see each other all the time out and about. So it's a smaller market. It also, I think, because we have less homes and less agents, still equally.
Absolutely, for sure. And of our 42,000, I think that's like 10% are actually working in the industry full time. And then you have
Same.
that do 1 or 2 transactions a year, or they've had their license 10 years and they've done 2 transactions. It is a great industry. I feel like even long term, because I have people ask me all the time, are you going to do this forever? And I was like, well, yeah, as long as I can walk and talk.
Yeah. Right.
Well, I may not go show properties at 80, 90 years old, but I could.
You never know. Like for me, I want to grow a team. So my end goal is to have a large team where I'm just kind of hands off. I take listings of friends and stuff when I'm older,
Sure.
and I really send it to the youngsters, the
Yeah.
young mandolins that are like, I'll take whatever and get to
For
that
sure.
point.
Do you put together a strategy for online? Like, I'm terrible about doing social media, not posts, because I post articles, LinkedIn thing anyway, but like the videos. I'm not doing the TikToks. I'm not doing the trendy. I just don't. I probably should, but I just can't. I need to do
Oh,
it.
it's
I know I need to do
difficult.
it.
I don't want to do it sometimes. There's days when I'm like, I don't want to have to see, I don't want anyone to see me. I don't want to have to, I don't have any makeup on or I'm not, it could be a super hectic day in real estate. And I'm like, I just don't have the time. Or it could be a super slow day in real estate where I'm like, what am I even going to say? But I still do it for the most part. And my goal is to try to post stories at least every single day to keep up with. So I have my main page. I think I even put on there polished feed chaotic stories, where I try to have my Facebook feed. Everything is private and I public. So I work off my own personal page because
Right.
people want to work with agent and not a business is what I've discovered.
Correct.
No one's going to interact with my business page. I have one. Not
True.
what I use. And so I really focus on my main feed to be for people that may not even know me and stuff that can be shared or liked and then it pops up on somebody else's. And then stories, I focus on maintaining a relationship with the people that are already following. And I do a lot of daily life. So I don't curate any of those. It's just me, more my personality and what I'm doing. And they might be goofy or they might be
For
just
sure.
talking or something like that. But because I've been doing it for a while, it's funny. If I don't do it for a couple days, people will reach out and be like, "You okay? We haven't seen you in your stories in a little while." So that's how I know it works. And I've had stuff. I was documenting. I have a goat that was sick, And I was just documenting me trying to fix this goat. And like, it wasn't even real estate based at this. Not
Sure.
everything I do in stories is real estate based. I want people to know me. And
Exactly.
people are still, that was like a year ago. People are still coming up to me at like when I'm getting my oil change, being like, how's that goat doing? Like, you still remember the goat? So that's kind of the balance I try to do, is that my main feed is like, probably I try to do 80% real estate, 20% personal. And then my stories are probably the opposite and are mostly
Right.
a lot of personal with real estate in it, or day-to-day life real
Sure.
estate.
And people do want to see behind the veil. And that's the point of my podcast is I want it to be 40% real estate and then 60% lifestyles, community.
Yep.
People want to see the behind the scene. So I took a picture. So I was going to help an elderly client protest her taxes, and I had to go to her house to do that. And I'm standing there waiting for her to answer the door. I rang the doorbell 3 or 4 times, knocked on the door 3 or 4 times, and I was wearing this flowy dress, and the wind caught my dress, and I just had a Marilyn Monroe,
Yeah.
wardrobe malfunction. I was just like, wow, okay, cool. And I don't know who saw, but so I just did my skirt up a little bit and did a little post. And it's the silliest things you think, those are the ones that get the most views,
100%.
likes, comments, shares. And I'm like, I seriously spent 5 minutes on writing a script to do this video to tell you about the buying process or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I give up. I give up. No.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. The stuff I try to, because I have mine as a professional profile too. I try to look at my stories and my feed posts to see what is getting the most interactions. And a lot of it is the behind the scenes, like this that everybody loves to
100%.
see.
100%.
They want to see that. Like,
Yes.
I posted, at an open house and I had balloons out, and then a car went by and just popped all of them. And I was like, oh, and then I had a balloon stuck on my arm that I didn't know, and I was
Right.
walking into an open house, and that just like became the video that everybody wanted to see. So, and then I'll post some stuff that I spend such a lot of time on, and I've done like a bunch of Canva designed,
For
and
sure.
people like it, but they also want to see the other stuff. So that's kind of
Absolutely.
what I do a mix of. So they all know I'm a real estate agent. I don't ever
Sure.
want anyone to forget. Like, I want to be the
For
first
sure.
person anyone thinks of for real estate, but I also want them to know I am.
Yes. And people want to do business with people that they like and love and know
Yep.
and trust.
Yep.
And your husband, same sphere, not same sphere, but same strategy. Is he good at marketing, doing the
No.
videos? And
No, he doesn't. He won't do social media or anything. He keeps that all to me. I've been in real estate much longer than him, so
Yeah.
I've been building it longer. So he's like, he's in most of my stuff on my page, and keep him in everything, but he's kind of like, nope. So we focus. He'll come up with ideas for me too. He'll be like, "Oh, you need to post this," or he'll just get on me and be like, "I noticed you didn't post anything recently.
Yeah.
Like, you got to post that thing." So he's like directing in the, but he won't do it.
Nice.
He's like, it's not for him. He's like, I don't want to have to start from scratch, because it takes a while to build up
Sure.
an audience.
For sure.
And he's kind of like, that's your thing. He does his thing. Everybody knows him as just the guy that you want to come in and look at your house and see if it's structurally correct. So,
And that's a good skill to have. So everybody
Yeah.
has their own.
yeah, I'm more of the goofy one, and he's like very serious. And so it works pretty well together, I think.
I will put a picture of this up on the screen so that everybody can see later. And I don't know if you can see this, but I want to talk about this condo container home that
Container
y'all.
home.
Oh, this is stunning. One, and two, like it's just, I don't know, it's just so cool looking. So how did y'all get there? The client, what did that look like?
Yeah, and that was a client that I'd worked with before, so a couple months ago. And then they were like, I'm ready to do it again. And I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. I just like the greatest compliment. You just feel so grateful that someone wants to work with you multiple times. But this ended up being an investment property. So they were looking for an investment property. It's really close to a ski resort. You can even see the mountain from there. It's
Wow.
amazing. And it was such a unique house to find. And he's always looking for a something unique because it's going to
Mhm.
Airbnb really well. But yeah, it was 3 containers just all put together. And inside, it was really interesting how the layout went. And it even had one of them had a sauna in it, had the hot tub, and it was just really funky layout, but worked so well, was designed so well. And the issue we had though was because it was such a unique house, we could not find an appraiser. They were like, I don't know how to even appraise this. I've never seen a
Sure.
container house that's built like this. I've never seen anything like that. We finally got someone in the end, and they were like, I just recently did a yurt, so I think I can figure this comp this out. But yeah, when you get the really unique houses like that, you wonder what you're going to run into. And it was something like, there's just no comps for this. This is something
No,
new.
no, exactly. We now have a builder. Well, they're not the builder, they're the designer, but they're doing 3D printing of homes.
Oh, wow.
And that was cool. He came and spoke at a breakfast that we had a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I need to go check this out. So I'm gonna go walk through this. It's a whole subdivision that they're building, and I'm gonna do a little bit of video and start forcing myself to do more video.
Doing it. It's uncomfortable.
know.
I don't watch myself. I
I
won't watch
I
this. I'm just going to let you.
I was gonna say I go back and watch a little bit of them just to see the intros and things, and then I'm like, I can't. Or
Yeah,
I'll
I watch a
the
little.
guest, but I was like, I can't. My voice sounds different. I just feel like, oh, that hair's like flying and wisping out. And anyway,
Yeah. I always try to tell myself that people are thinking more about themselves than me. So if I do something that's
Oh, for sure.
they're not even remembering, I'm the one focusing. So I just try to
Absolutely.
post it and be like, stop being this way. Just get it out there. It's
For
not
sure.
perfection. It's just like consistency.
And I think that is what being more authentic is what people like. The polished stuff is kind of okay, but that's what people want is the unpolished and the real, the authentic. Do you have any non-negotiable business habit that you think separates top tier agents from the rest?
I compete with myself. I think a lot of people don't do that as much, but I'm constantly competing with myself. So I'm looking at what I did a couple months ago, what I've done even a year ago, and I'm like, even if it's working, I have to make it better. So I try
Sure.
to be ahead of things. I have a lot of agents that I follow or I've friended on Facebook. It's not just clients. I want to see what every single agent is doing in a
Sure.
different market
For
and
sure.
do that. And so I'm constantly competing, I feel like with myself to make sure that I'm better than before because you just got to get ahead of it. It's,
Right.
if you don't evolve, then somebody else is going to, and then what are you doing? That is one of my biggest things that I want to do for my business is constantly adding stuff. Like I
Right.
my listing videos, it's the same thing as but I
Yeah.
write scripts for them and I do it because other people are doing it and it
Sure.
wasn't really happening in my market. And then now I'm seeing, okay, I started doing this. Some other people are starting doing this. What can I do
Mhm.
to make it even better? Like I have to be
Right.
myself. It still works for
Absolutely.
now.
That's awesome. Okay, last two questions. What would you tell your 22-year-old self? What advice, what words of wisdom would you tell your 22-year-old self?
Advice and words of wisdom. Just keep doing it. I wanted to quit so many times on so many things and it's going to work out. I almost dropped out of grad school because I was like, this is boring. And
Yeah.
I'm thankful that I didn't. There was a lot of things that I want to tell that person that was struggling that you don't have to struggle and have more
Mhm.
confidence. Like, my goodness,
Sure.
it's going to work out in the end and you're going to have
Sure.
goals.
And pivot. If things
Do
don't
it.
work, pivot. Yeah. Yeah. I have a young lady that she was just like, I just don't know what I want to do. And I'm like, just do something.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be what you're going to do for the rest of your life. And then you get some experience or you meet someone and that leads to something else. But you're not going to be stuck there. And then you
Yeah.
decide it doesn't work out, then you move on or do something different. But do something. Don't be stuck. Move
Yeah.
forward.
And I'm lucky I did that, but I think I just questioned myself a lot of like, where is this going to I was just doing these things and I'm like, is this even going to help? I don't know. And I want to tell that person, keep doing, actually be crazier, honestly. Do weirder stuff because it's all going to be part of what makes you successful in the end. I
And
take a lot
stand
of
out. We need to stand out. Yeah. And then my last question, what would you like to be remembered for?
gosh, so many things. Just to be remembered. No, being a good friend, being
Mhm.
someone that's easy, that being a good friend, being there for people. I want the people that I have met, even if we weren't close, to be like, she was a good friend and like a kind person, I think, because it's hard to stay kind all the time, but you have those days and then you think to yourself, oh my gosh, what if someone makes a jerk? And you try constantly to just, that would be great, as if everybody was like, remembered me as being a good friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that about you. I absolutely can see that. Thank you so much for being on my
You.
show. I know you have another guest spot coming up soon, so you're like going to be the podcast queen.
This month, busy season in real estate too. So it's great.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I appreciate you joining me today. And remember, everybody loves bacon. Thanks for hanging out with me on Bits by Bacon. Be sure to follow, leave a review, and send this to that friend who always wants the inside scoop in and around the Houston area. I'll see you next time with more stories, real estate talk, and a little bit of everything in between. And remember, everybody loves bacon.